Hello, this is the Red Baron. It has been a little bit since I've been able to post some videos. I've been pretty busy. This is a 3v3. It does give me a nice opportunity to post a video real quick because I actually just got back from a party, and I'm going to be flying out on a plane. I got to leave tomorrow at 5 a.m. It's a 7 o'clock flight. So I am trying to get this done real quick, and hopefully post a video or two since I will be gone this week. But this is, it does give me a good opportunity here because I've been really excited to post some 3v3 videos. You don't really see a lot of 3v3, and I really kind of want to let people know, kind of what's going on with the mode. And it is kind of forgotten, and there are a number of reasons and issues. But this game is actually sent in by ViciousDelicious. He is on EU West, and this is a tournament in the EU West. And he is a platinum player on the EU West. He said that he was ranked 1 in 3v3s at some point in time. Right now he was around 30, I think, when I checked. So pretty good player, but you don't know how the game will go or anything, and that's one thing with 3v3s. A lot of people recognize the game snowballs very fast, and there are a lot of nuances to the game that I think people don't recognize, and one of the big things is you do need a jungler. A lot of people don't recognize that, but if you play a really smart game and have good map control and stuff like that, and you have a jungler and the enemy team doesn't have a jungler, if you can win that 1v2 matchup, you don't need your solo to be getting kills or anything. You just need them to not die. You need them to farm and not to die. Then you will basically have an easy win. You're going to win that matchup. That's generally a thing. But one of the things with junglers in 3v3, because it is a little bit harder than in Summoner's Rift, any kills early on will very quickly snowball that jungler, just get them to a ridiculous level very fast, and that's why games tend to snowball very quickly. Kills in the lane do snowball the lane, where it can be difficult to lane against those champions very quickly. But they actually, now that I look at it, I assumed Nocturne and Xin Zhao or Udyr would be jungling, but looking at it, none of them have Smite, which is a little bit surprising to me. Smite's very important, even if you're not going to jungle. They might actually be popping in and out of the lanes and taking that XP, so you take the lane XP and the jungle XP. But the Smite is incredibly important for red buff and for Dragon, and I don't know if this is like an EU style, or what this is. A lot of people won't run Smite in the US, but I think generally speaking, most strong threes players recognize the importance of Smite. And it is interesting, a lot of times you do see these heavy bruiser teams in 3v3, and the reason behind bruisers, of course, is that they're tanking and they have lots of damage, so when you have small team numbers, they're difficult to deal with. I actually prefer, mixing up the team comp a little bit. There's a lot of really interesting teams that you can run in 3v3, and be very effective. Lots of range casters with disables, people like Morgana, Annie, and such, are really strong. They have the damage output. They have the disables. We actually have a little fight going off here. We had the stun. Lee Sin had to flash out. He had the ignite and the exhaust. The exhaust going off onto Udyr. He's actually going to be chasing after them, so they are going to get out okay. And in the meantime, Nocturne was chasing after Garen as well. Garen got pretty low. He was able to get out. But it is actually a little bit surprising to me to see, these all bruiser teams. And I actually haven't played. We actually see Lee Sin jumping in. We do have a flash from Riven getting out of there. Xin Zhao going to chase after Lee Sin, pick up that kill. There's the flash from Riven, actually, so I guess it was Xin Zhao. So they did get out of there, and Nocturne doing a pretty good job up top, but very quickly the enemy team is winning down in this bottom lane. But getting back to it, we do see a 2v2 bottom, which is a little bit surprising. They're missing out on jungle XP, and I think that's partially because they are running all bruisers, and it is difficult for most bruiser champions to run a 1v2 lane. There's a couple that can do it, but generally speaking, ranged champions have a little bit better time with it. We do have them coming up behind Nocturne here. Nocturne really needs to be careful because the enemy team, they did just go missing. They were probably grabbing this red buff and then coming down. Nocturne actually jumping in on to Garen. He is able to pick up the easy kill. Garen coming back in a little bit too aggressively, and where's his team? I'm a little bit surprised they didn't come up and gank this Nocturne. So Nocturne very quickly getting off to a good start. He is a pretty strong champion. Garen is very strong in the lane, and he's also got a lot of really great mobility, which is his strength. He can, with 3v3, because it's such a small map, he can just run in behind you very quickly and pick people off. But one of Garen's weaknesses, he's not really the strongest champion in lane. He can be very abusive in lane. If you get off to a good start, and just play the lane right. He does have that regen passive, and he does have a lot of damage and a silence, so he can be really strong in lane. But we actually have Udyr coming in. Once again, an exhaust coming off. Lee Sin almost going down. They are going to back off there. But if Garen gets behind in a lane, then against most champions, he has a difficult job catching back up because he really needs to have that burst potential. They are coming in onto Riven, and Riven actually going down. The Q from Lee Sin, he can't really do anything because he's so low health, but we do have Nocturne coming in. Nocturne's going to pick up this kill onto Xin Zhao, and he's going to pick up a kill onto Udyr as well. Garen's coming down, so Lee Sin is going to want to watch out. Nocturne going to want to watch out that he doesn't get, insta-jibbed in that bush. I believe Garen has Ignite. No, he has Exhaust, actually. So Garen's not coming down. That's a little bit surprising once again. But they are going to get this red buff. And Nocturne 3-0 with red buff. And, this is one of those things where, in Summoner's Rift, you wouldn't be able to call a game over. But when you have someone like 3-0 with red buff, especially such a strong champion, and one of the things Nocturne brings to the table, he has that great regen, generally pretty good, he's kind of that top lane champion in Summoner's Rift, and so he's going to be there. They do want to watch out bot because Garen's going to be coming down, and they don't have any ward coverage, which is a little bit surprising to me. They really want to get some wards out. Here we have Garen. He's coming in. He's going to pick up this kill onto Lee Sin. They do have the exhaust, and Nocturne ulting. Nocturne's going to come in, try to pick up some kills. There goes the Lee Sin death. Riven almost going down. Lee Sin actually doesn't die. Nocturne chasing down this Udyr. He's going to be able to pick him up with that red buff. Now he's going to pick up the Xin Zhao, and he's going to be able to pick up the Garen. That's going to be a triple kill. Did he get the triple kill? Yes, he did get the triple kill. I'm not sure why. Oh, there it is. So he did get the triple kill. Wow. And that's actually what I was just about to say. Not only is Nocturne such a really strong top lane champion, but he has that mobility, that ultimate. And, at level 6, that ultimate is pretty short range. It does increase with level. He's got to watch out. He's taking a lot of damage from Udyr here. Xin Zhao jumping in on top of him. He's got kind of a late shield. He is going to get out, though. Fortunately, he does have boots. They do have boots, too. But he does get out. But anyway, Summoner's Rift, his level 6 ultimate, Nocturne's ultimate does scale the range with levels, but level 6 ultimate, doesn't really get you that far. It gets you into a lane, and that's about it. So it's, it's a good ganking tool, but in 3v3, Nocturne, you can just go anywhere on the map. I mean, you can do anything. That's one of the things. He does have a Wriggles here, so that's definitely a really strong item choice. He'll be able to sustain easily. And one thing he can do with Wriggles, he will want to kind of use the rest of this red buff, but he can push up this lane very aggressively. He's going to push up this lane and then move into the jungle and clear out this jungle. Garen probably clearing the jungle some because he doesn't want to have to face that Nocturne. And we have a little fight going down here. Lee Sin using that kick, knocking Udyr into a wall. He's going to have to flash out. He does go down to Xin Zhao. And bot lane, they're really just getting wrecked here, being very over-aggressive. Xin Zhao jumping after Riven, able to pick up that kill, but Nocturne is chasing down Garen. Garen actually flashes over that wall, and Nocturne's actually been able to pick up this tower up here. So, bot lane for his team not doing very well. They've been really aggressive. When in actuality, you kind of want to be defensive in 3v3, and it is very surprising to see this. But generally speaking, you want to be careful, farm up, let opportunities come to you, and use your advantages. And they're kind of just running at the enemy, smashing their face against the wall, basically, and it's really not working out for them. But here you can see Nocturne going to be able to get this farm, just clear this jungle, give him lots of farm, and very quickly he's going to be farmed up. He does get the dragon, and that's just huge for his team. It's going to be hard for bot lane to not be successful when you have that dragon buff, and that's one of the things you want to do. You want to get your team gold, you want to get them buffs and such, and take advantages so that your team has an easy job of things. And Nocturne, he is all alone up here. His team is coming up. We have Lee Sin trying to jump in. They should control this red buff. Here it is up again. So Nocturne pushing up that lane. He's going to come back and get this red buff. But, even though bot did die a number of times, Nocturne is just really beyond strong right now. Look at that, 217 damage with his Q on. Nocturne's Q really does give him a lot of damage. And then also with that dragon buff, and he is going to be building pretty tanky. They do have a lot of single target burst damage right now, though. Xin Zhao will have that % health damage from his ultimate. Udyr has some nice burst damage. He is going Tiger Udyr, so that does give him a lot of burst damage. Garen also has a lot of burst damage, great single target. So, potentially, if they just really quickly focus fire Nocturne, then he could be pushed out of this really quickly. And that's really going to be, the onus is going to be on the Nocturne to just continue farming, continue pressuring his advantage, and be smart about things. Use his shield, kite the enemy, try and get them to engage on his teammates. and his teammates aren't very strong right now, but if they engage on his teammates, then Nocturne's going to be sitting pretty. He is going to be actually 3-manned up here, and he's going to turn and attack Garen. In the meantime, his team is just pushing bot, and that's one of the great things. Nocturne's just so strong right now. They have to worry about him top, and the actual fear goes off onto Udyr, and that red buff, he's chasing him down really aggressively, but the exhaust goes off. And that's the benefit of Nocturne. He's actually going to be able to pick up the Udyr kill, but I was going to say Nocturne can split push, and because he's so strong, if you're strong enough to beat anyone in the game, then split pushing becomes really effective because you can do this. He's just going to sit up in this top lane, pick up his kills. This is definitely game over. The enemy team is not grouping like they need to be, and even so, he's probably too mobile. He actually sees Zeal, probably a good decision. He is pretty healthy here, pretty tanky, has plenty of damage already, but the Zeal gives him that mobility so he can kite the enemy, when he needs to. But again, when you've got a split push kind of team, once you're at that position where you can, split push and beat anyone in a 1v1 situation, just split push, pick up free kills like that, and then, if the enemy decided to go onto his bot team, then he could just ult over, take care of business down there, really would be no big deal. But he is just beyond fed at this point, and this is going to be GG any moment now. I believe it's 15 minutes surrender. So, kind of exciting to see Nocturne beat up on some people, but this really was a stomp game. Pretty good job by Vicious there. Taking a look at his farm, you see he's done a really effective job of farming. 13 minutes in, he's got 130 CS, and that's what you saw. You saw him, he controlled his lane, constantly pushing his lane, and then grabbing the jungle farm. He came down bot, grabbed some farm down there, and that's really what you want to do. Farming is really key on Treeline, just as it is in Summoner's Rift. And I think a lot of people kind of neglect that when you're going for kills. And that's how you get fed. You don't get fed by going 3-0. You get fed by going 3-0. With 100 CS at an early point in the game. You need the CS, it's all about gold, and you need the CS as well as the kills, and he has more than enough of both. So it will probably be a surrender by the team at any moment now. He is going to just be pushing up aggressively here, going to be trying to end this game. Not a lot of ward coverage, not a lot of buff control, but, pretty good play nonetheless. The farming really is important. And here we have Nocturne. Lee Sin actually knocking Xin back, and he goes down very quickly. Udyr dropping to this damage. Nocturne doesn't want to go into that fountain, taking some damage from this tower, but really they're nowhere near strong enough to fight him right now. He does have that Triforce. They have the tower here, and very soon this is going to be the Nexus. Nocturne actually very close to going down. He's going to want to take this Xin. He needs that lifesteal. Xin Zhao actually used the ultimate on a creep. That's just really unfortunate. I'm not sure it would have killed him anyway, but here it is. Good game. This is an EU West game. I'd like to see more, kind of see what the differing styles are. Whether they still run lots of bruiser teams, or, if we can get some differing gameplay styles, some interesting team comps. But hope you enjoyed it, and I'll, try and get some more videos shortly.